Hey everybody, welcome back to Grindwise. I'm Earl, and as always, I'm sitting here with my partner, Brent. Today's going to be a little different because today's all about bourbon and ball caps, but business as well. So we're going to be talking about the things that you're thinking about and the things that we're thinking about. We're coming up towards the Super Bowl, so there's going to be a little chit-chat there. And Brent, the stuff that's going on with TikTok right now, the memes are killing me.
Oh my gosh. I woke up this morning. Actually, we were at the Ducks on the banquet last night and stayed out late, but I saw it went down 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever, 12:01 a.m. Get home and this morning and my daughters are, freaking out. And I started seeing some of the reels on Facebook. The TikTokers are out there making the money. They're out panhandling for money and they're dancing beautiful. In the street. Well, so funny enough, I'm setting things up, for us to record today. And my oldest daughter comes out and she's just dancing. And I'm like, what is going on? She goes, TikTok's back. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so I look at my phone, don't have it. My other daughter's in there laying on the couch, depressed, watching Instagram reels because she didn't have TikTok. But I got video. We'll have Brandon, our producer here, pop up the video here so everybody can see her dancing in the studio.
That's gonna be fun. I of course was looking at it beforehand, and it was just this depression zone of people. And today might be my last video. I'm going to miss you. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, come on. And lo and behold, what's going on right now?
It's back up and running.
It's back up and running. So today's bourbon, ball caps, and business. And
what do you got?
We've got the gang all here today, Brent. We've got Mr. Jack Daniels, and then we have Mr. Booker Noel, who's part of the Jim Beam family. Then I've got a little special treat we'll talk about a little bit later, and then something from White Elephant story that I'll share with you. But let's just light it up and get it started off with Mr. Jack Daniels. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Notice how his glass comes up first.
It came up first.
All right. What do you got going on in your glass there? It looks like a bullet or something.
It's a bullet. I got mad and shot it.
So we got to make sure we're even here.
Yeah,
first.
we're even. Hey, right, are you going to pour our producer a drink?
This might make for an interesting show. Let's get it on over here and get started with Jack. The gang's all here, you guys. So, rolling right into it. So this TikTok thing was quite the debacle. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's an interesting little marker when you think about business. And hold on.
You know what's funny? I told my daughters, as we're marketing our own company, I work on all the different social media platforms, and with TikTok going on, all the stuff that's been happening the past year, I really didn't mess with it. And when it finally came back on, I was like, thank goodness my one follower on TikTok can find me again.
Yes, that's a win. But it also is kind of a lesson, right? For businesses. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. So there's social media everywhere. There's Facebook, Alignable, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn. I mean, you name it. There's and did you see this over on LinkedIn? The people that were capitalizing on LinkedIn's going away. What was it? Red Slot or something like that. It's supposed to be the TikTok, not the LinkedIn, but the TikTok alternative.
Oh yeah.
So I downloaded it. I'm like, well, at least there's an alternative. There's 10 million plus downloads. It was all in a language I didn't understand, Brent.
You know what's funny is, when the blackout happened this morning, I was scrolling through through Facebook, and I saw people saying, by the way, you can download this app, and it's like a backdoor into TikTok, and it was called Friendly UK or something. So I'm wondering if people are like downloading that from the UK so they can get their TikTok, and then of course they turned it back on, so it doesn't matter.
People are, and every time this stuff happens, people are going to capitalize. There's going to be these rogue emails coming out. Click this link to access your TikTok, right. And then whoop, strip all your information's gone and stuff like that. I'll tell you what, this world we live in right now, I love it. But I hate it at times. Like I still, and I talk about this a lot. I remember when my CRM and my entire business was stored in a wooden box on 3x5 note cards, right? I mean, from a sales standpoint, man, this was your gold.
What was it like living in the 40s?
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful age. Music, jazz was popping. Shut up. So now you got people, they're building their businesses on social media. What a great way to reach so many people. But a lot of people put all of their eggs over in that TikTok basket, and they should have been looking at other mediums.
It's kind of funny you say that, because when you say put your eggs all in one basket, it brings up other things, right? So a business. So let's say we have a business and we contract to ABC company, and ABC company says, guess what? We're going to change the game on you. And now you have your eggs all in that one basket. And now you're going, oh crap, my company's at the mercy of this other company. And now you're going, well, or if they go bankrupt or, whatever, something changes, now you're handcuffed by that company. So I like that. I like that thought. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. It's marketing, doing business, because it's not going to be, it's going to end your company.
And there's a lot of cool tools out there now where, like, we'll do a podcast, we'll create shorts for all of you, and that draws people back over to the podcast, but we don't just post it on one spot. Now, we have that one follower on TikTok.
Yeah.
God bless him or her, whomever that is. But we really haven't pushed out that because we kind of knew the ban was coming, and we've been hearing it, and we're like, let's build over here first and start working over there. But predatory things that go on in business, when these things happen, man, that's when they all come to the surface. I mean, people just, whoa. And what do businesses want, really? I mean, there's a couple different things, but if you're getting started in business, what do you want, Brent?
Number one, you need revenue coming in.
Right. But how do you get revenue coming in?
You got to have customers.
How do you get customers?
Marketing.
Oh my God. How do you pay for marketing?
You got to either put your own money in or go get some funding to get it going.
And therein lies the rub, right? Where do you get funding? Now, we talk a lot over here about corporate credit, building on your EIN, doing things right, building a real business that's tangible and lasts for a long time. But I started running down a rabbit hole, which it doesn't take long. Let's be honest. If there's a cute kitten in a video or a squirrel running up a tree, I'm squirreling and watching that, and 25 minutes later, I'm still looking at that. But I managed to stay on task a little bit. And I want to read some of these headlines for videos to you that I saw, because like it's bourbons, ball caps, and business today, right?
Let's do it.
From a predatory standpoint, you're sitting there, you're scrolling through, and you see a title that says $80,000 loans, no credit check. And it's got 50,000 views. You're going, really?
Yep. I actually saw something similar to that the other day, and I got curious. Yeah, believe that. I went down the rabbit hole, and it was on TikTok or a reel or whatever else, and I see it pops up on my feed all the time. I'm not going to blast the people's name out there or anything, but I tried to do a Google search on that company. Not even, don't have a website. They don't have anything. It's click learn. And I think all they're doing is selling your information in there. And then they send it to predatory lenders, or they send it to people.
Oh, we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, as a business owner, people get sucked into deals like that all the time. When I went down to Houston or Dallas to do that one podcast with that other gentleman, it was unbelievable. I was in a hotel, went down to an event. The night before, they had a big festival in front of the hotel that night, and this guy was like, he makes these cool. I should get something out here to show to everybody. It's a whiskey. He does whiskey barrel decor, and we probably bought half of everything he had at his booth. And I got talking to him about the credit and the business and everything else, and found out that he had accidentally signed up for a merchant cash advance.
Oh my gosh!
And I said, "What's your interest rate?" He says 30%. Whenever he gave me the numbers, I was like, no, it's more like 90%. But they tell you it's 30%. And I understand you've done some research and found out it's not even regulated money.
Well, it's different, right? So it's not the same classification. Actually, what I did is I was sitting there thinking about it, because we hear these stories all the time about people who are, man, I'm desperate, but I got a $150,000 loan against my receivables. They're just taking money out of my account. I'm giving them access to my bank account to grab their money. You don't even issue the check, right? They go into your account and pull that money out every single week, and it's killing them. What was really funny was the one gentleman I was talking to, he had like $150,000, and I believe the origination or the convenience fee was somewhere around $27,000 right off the top. So he didn't even get the $150,000. That got peeled off. But now they're pulling money out of his account every single week, and I thought, what's different between this and being a loan shark? I mean, We've all heard what loan sharks are, right?
Yeah. Well, and you said weekly, a lot of these are daily pay. And in fact, that one that I talked to was daily pay. And it broke my heart to the point that I came home and I researched and I found a company that helped people get out of those and consolidate all the debt. And I haven't told you this yet, but he called me 2 days ago, and things are good. He went from $600 a day to $500 a month with the new structure.
Oh my gosh. So here's what I found. And I wrote this down because I knew we were going to drink some bourbon today, which, by the way, how's Jack?
Jack is good.
Jack's
is
pretty good?
Yep.
So this is the definition. And when you go and look at it, I literally said, what's the difference between MCA and loan sharking? Number one, it said MCAs are anywhere from 40 to 100% on your money.
Believe it.
And saying, I'm like, okay, loan shark, right? But they call it a structured loan against future credit sales. So you're running this processing, right? But here's why they get away with it. Because it's not really considered a loan. It's not really a loan. What they're doing is they're basing it on sales coming in. It's not subject to state usury laws.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, well, why aren't loan sharks doing that? I mean, that'd be really smart pivot in their business. But loan sharks, I mean, it could be 20% a week. Your APR could end up thousands of dollars over the course of the year. And obviously, Vito doesn't like what you're saying to him or whomever. I'm not, could be Bob. Bob could be mad, but there's sometimes violence, right? We've all heard about that. But I'm like, that's crazy. So MCAs, loan sharking. I thought, well, who else takes a whole bunch of money from us? And then I went farther down the rabbit hole. So
I think I know where you're going. Just don't say anything that's going to get us red flag.
Oh, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. But so I went to IRS, and so I started looking. I'm like, well, I wonder what they charge on unpaid taxes, Department of Revenue type stuff. I mean, what's the interest on that? Because I've heard some horror stories.
Yep.
And so have you. And I went and I looked and I looked and I looked. Now, keep in mind, when I looked up MCA, boom, information right there. When I looked up loan sharks, it was a plethora of information. But then I went and tried to find out what was the actual interest rate plus penalties accrued and how did that translate into an APR versus money owed, right? I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, perfect.
So you didn't come to us with any real data about the IRS?
Don't get in trouble with them. That's the data. Don't borrow from loan sharks. Don't get in trouble with the IRS or the Department of Revenue, and certainly don't take merchant capital advance loans. There's got to be a better way. But is the better way 7 banks that will approve you for $50,000 on a brand new LLC for $50,000 each with no credit check? Does that sound realistic to you? Reasonable?
No. What's kind of funny is back to we've been looking at some of these things, just trying to figure out what's going on with all this, because we see all those people are getting all those views because that's what they're telling people, and people are believing it and eating it up. One of those I clicked the link on to apply, and it said no personal credit check, business funding up to they say up to $200,000 in revenue in the year with the business. So it's a business been around at least 6 months, and whenever I hit the apply button, first question, what's your personal credit score? What's that got to do with anything? If you're doing it they're telling me they're doing it on the EIN, and they're guaranteeing they can get you up to $3 million in days. So
I saw one that had over 200,000 views. I'm like, wow, this guy must have some good information, right? He said, we can get your small to medium-sized business $460,000. Easy money was in the title, right? And you don't even need to have a business. And I'm like, well, that sounds like a win to me. So I clicked it. He's holding his phone. I think he's in like a Hyundai Scoop. There was some old fast food packages. And he's sitting there in his car and he's giving this financial advice to everybody and telling them exactly how to go and do that. I got about 7 minutes in. I had to turn it off. But 200,000 people. What does that tell us? People are starving for the
real information,
right?
Accurate information.
So let's do this, Brent. Let's take some of these stupid headlines. I mean, maybe they're not that stupid. They're getting hundreds and thousands of views, but let's dig into a few of them as much as our stomachs can handle. Right over the next coming weeks, let's dig into some of these crazy notions, if you will, and see if there's any validity whatsoever to it. Because we want to bring you guys the best possible information and.
I want to take you down another rabbit hole because I just thought of something on this. Right. 2 things to what you just said. So first of all, I went out and found one of those people that posts these videos, and I sent him a message.
Oh, good.
And I said, hey, my clients would love this information. What schedule on my calendar? Let's talk about it. Like, I'm willing to hear what you got going on, but they didn't call me or they didn't schedule with me. So what's that tell you? They're hiding something?
Because they're really, really busy. Because they're helping so many people.
So many people, right.
Yeah.
So the second thing was, did you ever look into grants? Because I hear that all the time. People want to go after grants. And I always tell people, you can go apply for a grant. People always want to go get them. I talk to business owners. They're like, I just started. I'm applying for this grant. Well, your grant is on a desk, a stack of papers this tall with 1,000 other people. One person gets picked or 10 or whatever. And it's up to the person sitting at the desk to decide, are you willing to put your company's hands in that other person's hands? So tell me what you found out on grants.
I found out that there's a ton of videos where if you click the link at the bottom for just a few small dollars, they'll send you a report on how you can fill out a grant and guaranteed to get money you never have to repay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you fill one out?
No, I didn't. But let's do that. Let's do that on Grindwise over the next coming weeks. Let's maybe we'll have some of our administrators or something like that fill out a couple grant documents. We don't need the money, but maybe we get it and we donate it. Who knows?
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
But let's see if we can find something that works. And let's you and I, let's take a couple of these crazy headlines, right? Free money, do nothing, and let's see if we can run the course through on a couple, and we'll just bring it back to you guys and let you know we find out, because the internet is fraught with that. And with TikTok.
Tic Tac.
TikTok.
Do you need a Tic Tac?
No, I'm fine, actually.
I can kind of smell it.
You know what I do need? I need our next offering.
What's our next offering?
Well, I like the idea of that Knob Creek, but I also like the idea of this, and I can tell you about it.
Well, let's go to this that you can tell us about.
So this right here. So have a friend.
I'm pushing my drink towards you.
I understand, but I've got to tell you the story. It makes it taste that much better when you hear it.
All right.
I've got a friend up in North Carolina. His name's Steve Elliott. Him and his wife, Sarah, they have a company called Rockstar Connect. And what they do basically for businesses, the people that we talk to, is they actually help them set up networking events in their area, wherever they live, and draw multiple business owners to this collective where they all just kind of meet and greet. There's no pressure. There's no presentation, but they're the hosts. Whoever sets up with them, they're the hosts. So everybody that comes to the networking event spends time with them.
I'm not sure about all this. So you go and you got to listen to somebody speak, and there's a whole speech, and you got to listen to the whole thing. And that sounds boring, Earl.
Actually, there's no speech. See, when you ask questions, Brent, it prevents us from getting into this bottle, but I'm glad that you asked, because it's going to make it taste that much better. No, really, literally, you're there. You have a red tablecloth. They advertise it on Eventbrite for you. They get a hold of your contact list. They invite people to just come out. It's just a way of communicating. So there's no dues. There's no cost for people to attend, but everybody kind of gets there, meets and greets, and gets to know their community and the other business leaders in the community, and it really works out great. There's no pressure, no selling. As a matter of fact, they discourage that. Anyway, I digress. So Rockstar Connect does that. I've gone up there. Steve has probably one of the best collections of unique bourbons I've ever seen. I'm talking hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of bottles, and I don't even know what you call somebody who collects that much bourbon. And
it's an alcoholic.
Yeah, well, ironically, he doesn't drink that much, but he will sip on it. So we're up there. I'm sitting in his office, and he has all these amazing bottles, and some get down to a very little bit. And whenever they get down to about this much on a bottle, he'll take and pour the remnants of it in a flask like this.
So is this a suicide? Like when you got the pop and you mix all the different flavors?
There's no pop in this, my friend.
No, I'm talking about when you go to the gas station, you get a suicide. You'd go Dr. Pepper, Sprite, Pepsi, and they called it a suicide because you didn't know what you're drinking. You might not even live after drinking it.
Might not have been my era. But it's, I guess in terms of that, it might be like that. So what I've done in my own home, not that, but I have guests over all the time, and people bring me different bottles, and I've taken and kind of adopted that philosophy. So what we're going to try is, by your words, the old suicide. I love that bullet coming through the glass there.
My daughter actually bought that glass for me for Christmas. My one that we saw dancing earlier on the video. Yeah, that was her.
How is our editor doing over there?
I think he needs another one.
He's over there sitting there like Sally. He's still got some in his glass.
This looks heavy, Earl.
Huh?
This looks heavy.
It's not bad. Here, we'll get some over here for you. So this is my special blend. I can't even tell you how many different flavors are in it, but Steve shared this with me, Steve and Sarah, and I was like, that was the best doggone whiskey bourbon I had ever had, which was this mixture. So cheers.
Let's see. Well, that's pretty dang good. You don't know how, let me ask you a question, though, Earl, because you just said this is a whiskey mix that you're not sure how to do it again, though.
No, I couldn't do it again. I couldn't duplicate.
So that could be like the top selling whiskey right now.
That's pretty good.
It is. I'm telling you right now, I don't know how we need to figure this duplication out and bottle it and sell it.
Well, what we will do is maybe we'll get Steve on the show sometime and he can tell us a little more about that. But it might be a good idea to get Steve on the show to talk about some of these Rockstar events. We've done them. We've attended them. As a matter of fact, some of the people that work for us, they have hundreds of people that show up to those. As a matter of fact, when this podcast comes out, just look at the link at the bottom of the podcast and you can connect with Steve and Sarah also. We'll provide a link for you and you can get started that way also. But anyway, moving on. It's almost Super Bowl.
I know. I'm excited.
Who's going to go?
Who do you think's going to go? Look, I'll tell you who I want to go, and I know there's going to be haters out there because I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm from Kansas originally. Always been a Chiefs fan. I'm not a bandwagon Chiefs fan, and I'm not a Swiftie. I know Earl's getting ready to say that. So I do love the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going, and I'd love to see these Philadelphia Eagles make it so Andy Reid can beat them twice in the Super Bowl.
Well, his former team back right now, it looks like. So,
well, that's what I'm hoping for. And I watched last night. Washington just destroyed Detroit. I was shocked. I thought that was going to be the other. I thought it was going to go the other way around 100%.
I think tonight will be another shock when the Ravens beat Buffalo.
And I'm with you there, too. I think the Ravens will beat Buffalo.
Everybody's like, oh, Buffalo's going to take it. I'm just forecasting this ahead of time. Game hasn't happened, but I think the Ravens are going to.
So we had this conversation last night at Ducks Unlimited at the banquet. And I kept telling the guy, we were talking back and forth, and he kept going, yeah, Buffalo's going to win. I said, no, I don't think so. Ravens are going to win. And he just goes, well, when Buffalo wins, he wasn't listening to me at all.
Right.
He's not having it.
So you've got a business. It's 2025. We talked about this in the last episode, making these plans going forward. Let's get granular on it because I really think that there's a missing element, especially when people are in business for a long time. They almost end up like Clydesdales, the Budweiser Clydesdales, walking down the road with blinders on, They don't see what's happening peripherally, but they're really good at plotting forward. And I think it's important when you're looking at a new year and you're making new plans to really identify what is it I'm trying to achieve? What is a business really trying to achieve?
Well, they want to be successful. They want to end the year like one of our previous podcasts when we said we want to in December, on December 31st at New Year's, you want to go, man, that was a great year. Next year's going to be better, right? So you got to position yourself all the way throughout the year, which is, I don't know if you saw me something I sent you today before you came over here to the studio, but I saw something. I feel like I'm using a lot of the good AI tools in marketing and stuff right now. Yeah. It said there are 21,000 different AI platforms right now for business owners to help them with marketing and advertising.
That's crazy. I thought there was 20,500, but there's 21,000.
21,000. How are you going to pick? And look, I have 8 or 9 right now, and I'm just kind of testing them. And I've gotten some that were like, they blew me away on their reel that I saw, and I was like, got to sign up for that. And I signed up for it, and I'm like, what did I just buy?
Here's the thing, but AI, everybody's talking about. We talked about that in another episode. How AI, you're either going to tell it what to do, or it's going to tell you what to do. Be on the leading edge, right? But there's so much hitting you every single solitary day about AI, and because it's got that sizzle, it's almost like those headlines we were talking about. Hey, you get $400,000 and you never have to repay it. You don't need credit, and you don't even need a business. Just tell us you have one, right? Because that'll work. But it's kind of like that with AI. But if you really boil it down with a business, what denotes success in a business? What are they really trying to achieve? What's their marker for achievement?
I would say it's to be able to work for themselves and have financial freedom.
Okay. What creates financial freedom?
Earning or getting customers and earning money.
Earning money. Okay. At the end of the day, every business, doesn't matter who you are out there, whether you're a roofer, a painter, you're selling products, maybe you're a jeweler, a doctor, or whatever, you're exchanging your time for dollars in one way, shape, fashion, or form. But here's the most interesting thing about dollars as it relates to business and the world in general. No dollar ever willingly exchanges hands without a sale taking place, number one, but it only exchanges out of necessity or desire. People either need what you're selling or they desire what you're selling.
That's a lie.
How is that a lie?
I go to church and I give the church money. I give charity money. So that's not a want nor desire that I want.
Well, hold on. Let's back up. So you go to church, you say you tithe at church then. All right. So why do you go to that church?
I like that church. I know people there.
Okay. You know people at that church. Why else?
Well, why not? Well, I mean, that's,
It's not a why not. I mean, if you go to a church and there's people like, what other reasons do you go to that church? Do you like the pastor?
Yeah, I've met him actually personally. Yeah.
Okay. How long's that pastor been there?
Well, he started it. I don't even know when he started. I go to Life Church, which is, Pastor Craig. Gosh, it's been around for 10 or 12 years.
Do you like that pastor?
Yeah. I think he's great.
Okay. What's great about him?
Just the atmosphere of the church. It's I grew up going to, a Baptist church, and you had to put your Sunday best on to show up. And that, you think about, the Bible and everything. It's like you can come however you are. And I do. I still put on a nice shirt and maybe jeans or slacks or whatever I feel like wearing that day. But people literally come in their pajamas. And they get popcorn and they get water and tea or whatever.
But now we're off track. But
yeah, you
go
took
to
us there.
You tithe at this church. You've got a lot of friends at this church. You've went to this church for a long time. You know the pastor. He's been there for a long time. You like that pastor, right?
Yep.
So you tithe. People only willingly give up their dollars out of necessity or desire. So it was your desire to attend that church. Something came out of hearing that pastor. Something came out of seeing your friends. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, I follow you.
So if we know, and we know empirically that money only exchanges hands out of necessity or desire, as a business owner that has blinders on, sometimes it's a good idea to stop and think, what do my customers need? What do they want? What are they desiring? Why am I unique? What makes me different? Is it just that I'm really good and things come by happenstance? What if they don't come by happenstance? Think about all these TikTokers, really good at what they do, right? People followed them. They liked them. They desired to watch them. They almost felt like they needed to watch them, and they would pay.
Yep.
Right. But now TikTok's gone. What if your business is gone? How do you re-identify and break it all the way down to the grassroots, the taproot, if you will, of your business, which if you look at any marketing initiative, any way that a company derives income, you usually start by looking at how the money ended up in the bank to begin with. And then you look at what was the step that caused them to part from their money, and what was the step that came before that and then came before that. Because here's the most valuable lesson I think I ever learned in business, which I've adhered to for years, which is sales has nothing to do with selling. It has nothing to do with selling.
I agree.
If you know how to stay conversational and you understand how to identify what needs are and desires are of your customer base, then you win. But it's easy as a business, especially now. I mean, you got chaos going on. We've had the election. We're in Super Bowl time. TikTok went bye-bye. You're looking at crazy headlines.
It was ground zero around here this morning. TikTok was gone. Prime was doing some kind of update. My daughter's freaking out. I actually threatened my youngest daughter. I'm like, we showed the video of my oldest dancing in the studio earlier, and I go in the house, and my youngest is laying on the couch, and I said, I'm going to post a picture of you on here pouting, depressed. And she goes, I'm just went to Instagram Reels. I'm not that depressed. But you're right though. I mean, we live in a place that we're hinging so many things on what other people are doing.
Well, get back to basics. That's what I would say to anybody. Look at your business. And frankly, if you have questions about your business or you're having a struggle getting back to what made my business what it is, or you need somebody to help you remove the blinders, you can click the link below. We have all kinds of consummate business professionals that would happily talk to them and help maybe reconstruct and start taking a look at identifying those things. It's not a big deal, but you can click on it. We're happy to talk to you. You either talk to us or talk to some people who work for us. But coming into 2025, if you're not looking at those things, you're probably falling short, and you need a market dominating position. You need to be able to compete because there's a lot of competition out there. 170 million people.
170 million people
on TikTok.
Wow.
That competed with each other.
Wow.
That for a brief moment went,
I'm jobless.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want anybody that watches this to be jobless. Hey, I got a really interesting story.
I know. I was going to tell you, you need to start talking about that.
I've got an interesting story about this I want to share with you, but I don't want to show you the label yet because I want it to kind of be a surprise. So let's do the
bottoms up.
Bourbon and ball cap bottoms up.
All right.
All right. Here we go. So, little story about this bottle. I got this bottle about 5 years ago. I went to a White Elephant prior to Christmas. Oh, I know. Hold on. Here, I'm going to tease you a little bit.
You're going to let me smell it?
I'm going to tease you a little bit. I'm not even going to let you smell it. I'm just going to pull the cork off, right? Oh, there we go. So I go to the White Elephant. As that thing goes, you're getting gifts and stuff like that. I had one of the earlier numbers, so I got to go up and pick my gift, and I opened it up, and it was a bunch of scented candles. So you can imagine the excitement for me.
I'm sure you still have them and you're using them every day. The
story goes on. So I'm sitting there with my scented candles looking for somebody that has a need or desire for them within the audience, displaying them proudly. As I watch people go along, somebody opens up this bag, and inside is this bottle of bourbon. And I'm like, why didn't I pick the bag? Just so happens this gal comes along, and I had displayed my candles properly because she came and stole my candles, which then meant I could open another gift or go steal a bottle. So I went and stole this bottle of bourbon. Really excited. Ended out the party fantastic. I want to share a little bit of it with you here right now.
So, just out of curiosity, how long ago was this party? 1925?
This was about 5 years ago. Okay.
You still have a lot in that bottle. So
I
is this that good, or are you just trying to get rid of it?
I just want you to have a taste. I've kept it a long time, okay? All right.
Well, that's interesting.
That's horrible.
That's interesting.
It's gross.
It's not that I don't think it's that bad, but it's coming off your cocktail you just made there in that other bottle. After our Magic and after Jack Daniels.
It says free on the back. Do they give that stuff away? No. It's alcohol free.
Oh my God.
So I didn't see that when I got the bottle, but I sat there proud of my bottle of bourbon that I had swept away after someone took my scented candles, and I saw alcohol free. Probably not going to be delicious. Now, I know people that drink it and they love it, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just not.
Well, why did you pour so much in our glass? Here, you want to finish mine so I can have some more of that other?
No, you have to drink it.
All right, here. I'm going to do the bottoms up just so I can get rid of it.
Yeah, go ahead and down that.
Will I be drunk after this, Earl?
No, you should be fine. Oh, interesting enough, it says after opening, it's only good for 6 months. Well, that explains a lot of things. So this will be going to the wayside. Woo. All right, let's move along.
Oh, we have another one.
To the Jim Beam family. As we get rock and rolling here. No magic story behind this. I just liked the bottle, and I heard a lot of good things about it. Is our producer doing okay over there?
I could use an option. That's about the only whiskey.
I can give you an option.
I'll try a little bit of this.
All right, my friend.
Oh my gosh, you guys are living a life.
All right. So anyway, hey, look, this bourbon's ball cap, some business. We're going to do a lot of really cool things coming up on Grindwise. Everything that we do here is really positioned to help you guys out there in the business world because, frankly, we don't know what we don't know. And there's a lot of people telling us stuff we shouldn't know, and it's not real.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. And that's what, I keep telling people, we'll go out and find the things. You bring it to us, we'll look at it and see if it's real. If it's real, we might want to do business with that person.
Well, people need to look at their businesses for sure and figure out where they're falling short. If they need help with that, we have people that can.
Yep.
We kind of have the magic Rolodex when it comes to business. We've been fortunate, and we've been able to make a lot of contacts. We're always happy to talk to people in our audience.
I got something else I want to do.
Oh,
So you and I have been working on a special project.
we have.
So I was kind of, again, my one follower might have been sad, but I was kind of like, oh, TikTok went away. Well, all these people are going to lose revenue.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, we have an opportunity that if somebody has some good business influence or a good following with business owners, they need to click the link below and schedule some time with us.
So here's what we're going to do. Brent and I have been working on developing a product for about a year and a half that's going to frankly change the way people do business in a really positive way. We're looking for people like you that either you're already an influencer or you have some business influence out there. We'd be happy to talk to you. We are probably about 5-6 weeks from it coming out, but it's a great opportunity if you want to make some extra income, but really more importantly to help people. And that's what we try to do here on Grindwise. So let's go ahead and include that link there preemptively. Yep. We'd be happy to share some information with you guys, give you guys that opportunity. But and that's a good call out there. We got to thank Blue Couch here again in studio. They do a great job for us. Brandon's awesome. We're going to try to get him a little less bourbon so we can make sure this editing's good. Right. But this is just the first installment of Bourbon Ball Caps and Business. Brent,
we're out, buddy.
I got to cheers you. We're out.